If you'd asked me in the 90s, Claudia Schiffer probably wouldn't have been the supermodel I found most interesting. But looking back now, I think I'm just seeing her through a completely different lens. Because while some of her peers dominated through personality or sheer force, Claudia's power was something quite different. Her discipline was often mistaken for simplicity, but behind that radiant image was a quietly intentional approach that was playing a much longer game than we realised. We're looking past the bombshell persona to understand the precision, the business, and the lasting influence of Claudia Schiffer. Imagine being 17 years old, dancing at a nightclub in Dusseldorf, and having absolutely no plans to be famous. That was Claudia Schiffer. At the time, she was an aspiring lawyer, ready to follow her father's footsteps into the legal world, when the CEO of Metropolitan Models approached her. But she almost ignored him, because she was skeptical. She didn't think she had the look. But the industry thought otherwise. And by 18, she moved to Paris and landed the cover of French Elle. Funnily enough, she actually thought it was a mistake when she saw it. She genuinely believed they had picked the wrong girl. Photographers immediately started playing up her resemblance to Brigitte Bardot, with her tousled blonde hair and her striking features. Suddenly, the shy German girl was now the talk of Paris. 2 huge partnerships really turned her into a household name. First in 1989, she became the Guess Girl. The iconic black and white ads shot by Ellen von Unwerth didn't just make her career, it literally transformed the Guess brand. Then came Karl Lagerfeld. After seeing her on a cover of British Vogue, he handpicked her to be the face of Chanel. He became her ultimate mentor, saying she was the only one who could represent the modern elegance of the house. And by age 21, she wasn't just a model, she was the highest paid model in the world, charging $20,000 per show. Her relationship with Karl lasted over 30 years. She was his bride, the one who closed the biggest shows. You might remember the 1992 structured ivory tweed gown, so iconic that Dua Lipa brought it out of the archives for the 2023 Met Gala. Claudia credits Karl with teaching her the business of survival. He helped her evolve from a shy teenager into a global brand. They were so close that even 20 years after their first shoot, he was still the one behind the camera for her 2011 Chanel eyewear campaign. In the 90s, Claudia helped establish the idea that a model could be a brand. In 1992, she signed a $6 million a year deal with Revlon, but then in 1997, she made a high-profile beauty leap to their rival, L'Oreal. She's been with them for over 25 years now, representing everything from hair colour to anti-wrinkle creams. These were far more than just modelling jobs. They were mega deals that gave her the kind of financial power usually reserved for movie stars. Even after Claudia moved away from the daily grind of the runway, her connection to fashion changed. She started looking back at the era she helped build. This eventually led her back to where it all began in Dusseldorf. But this time, she wasn't there to be photographed. She curated her first exhibition called Captivate. It was like a personal time capsule, as she pulled 150 pieces from her private archive, including museum-quality prints and raw pre-digital artifacts like Polaroids and contact sheets. It featured work from legends like Richard Avedon and Peter Limburg, and she even released a beautiful coffee table book by the same name. Claudia's relationship with the camera eventually moved beyond the pages and onto the big screen. In the 90s and early 2000s, she had a regular appearance in film and TV, and probably the role most remember her in is in Love Actually. But if you look at the credits of some of the biggest films today, you'll see her name in a much different capacity. She's transitioned into a substantial career as an executive producer, playing a vital role in both the creative and commercial success of films produced by Marv Studios, the production company she co-owns with her husband director Matthew Vaughn. From the Kingsman franchise to Argyle, she oversees the creative, aesthetic and visual direction, proving that her eye for branding is just as sharp behind the scenes as it ever was in front of the lens. Today, Claudia is much more interested in the craft behind a brand. Under the banner of Claudia Inc., she's transitioned into a creative director role. She takes a hands-on approach to everything she touches, from her knitwear lines to her collaborations with labels like Aquazura. She's even expanded into high-end homewares, partnering with historic Portuguese names like Bordalo Pinheiro and Vista Alegre. In 2002, Claudia's life took a more personal turn when she married film director Matthew Vaughn. They settled in Suffolk, England, where they raised their 3 children. And interestingly, since her husband was knighted in 2024, she now holds the courtesy title of Lady Drummond. Despite the shift toward family life, Claudia never stepped away from fashion entirely. She simply traded the daily grind of constant travel and weekend shoots, allowing her to focus on being a mother while maintaining a firm professional foothold in the industry. Claudia still has rare, high-profile moments that serve as a reminder of her lasting stature in the industry. In 2018, she returned for the historic Versace tribute to Gianni, and again more recently when she surprised the fashion world by closing the Versace Spring 2024 show in Milan. Now in her 50s, Claudia remains such a sought-after muse, which just goes to show that you don't need to be everywhere to maintain your influence. What I find really interesting is that despite her bombshell image, Claudia has always been an introvert. And on the runway, she didn't do the deadpan look that's common now. She was known for her beaming smile and approachable charisma. She admits she approached the runway like a technical performance. Some critics called her walk mechanical or even a bit clumsy. But designers like Versace and Lagerfeld actually loved that, because they knew that even if her walk wasn't the smoothest, every single freeze frame or photo taken of her mid-stride would be technically perfect for the magazines. So Claudia remains the ultimate proof that you don't have to have the most amazing walk on the runway to have presence and be iconic. And to see exactly what I mean, let's have a look at Claudia Schiffer's time on the runway.